Hey, what up, you guys? It's your boy AP with another little story. This is about how I was able to finish up high school and what I was doing in between high school, and a little bit about what happened to me today. But first of all, I come from a family that never was good at school or couldn't go to school, and I just people didn't graduate from my family. It's where I'm from, Mexico. It's not uncommon for our parents to not have went to school, don't know how to read, only went to school for like the first, second, third grade or whatever, and it's just common. And when our parents come to another country, Europe or United States, they're expecting a lot from the first generation or the ones who came here at an early age. Uh, but they put a lot of pressure in us. But the parents really don't know how to be like a good instructor or a good motivator, or know how to like make sure that your children are doing good at school. They just expect you to do good at school by yourself or something like that. Some parents, they do have a good understanding and they're able to help the child out, but the child just doesn't want to learn or whatever, is just lazy. And then there's cases where the parents don't do absolutely nothing. They're the worst parents ever, but the child just excels in everything and just wins at everything just because it's in the child. So there's many cases, but in my case, I just never good at school. Um, so yeah, I struggle with that. Always had summer school, like since I could remember. I don't think I ever had one, like with regular school, like out from elementary on. I don't think I ever had like, I don't know when summer school starts, but like at what age, but I've always mostly been in like all the summers. I never had a summer off. Like I've always was in summer school every single freaking year. And what's it called? And I used to hear other kids like, "Oh, I'm a summer vacation." I was like, man, and our vacation was like short. We did have a vacation, but like since we had to go to summer school, it was like a shorter vacation. And yeah, and I got held back in fourth grade. Um, it sucked when I got the information. I was like, you're gonna have to repeat a year, and it sucked. But it was cool, a cool experience because my first fourth grade teacher, he sucked. He was my football coach too, so he sucked. And but my second teacher, he was legit. Like the whole class just did was just since if you have a good teacher, the students will want to do good. Like you're a good motivator. If you're a crappy teacher, like the kid doesn't have no like like he doesn't want to, like he doesn't care about school because you don't put that like emphasis on it's cool to learn, it's cool to work hard, and to keep challenging yourself. But if you have like a crappy teacher who just doesn't care, like that affects a lot of children. There's still kids that are just gonna perform because they're just gonna perform, but like a lot of kids are just not gonna put the work into it. But I remember, I'm sure if you guys had a good teacher, I'm sure you guys didn't mind waking up to go to school. It's like but yeah. So my second fourth grade teacher, he was dope. We won a lot of trophies because of him. We used to do exams and trophies, and then but yeah, and then when I got to high school, I also didn't do well. I used to always ditch. I always used to just not be interested in school. And I messed around for like my ninth and my 10th grade. Like I didn't do anything. Like I didn't do anything. I didn't hardly show up to class. I ditched a lot. But I remember there's this one day I was in what class was that? I don't know. I don't know what class it was, but I was going to school uh, at this one place called James Logan, and and what's it called? Some students came in and they're like, oh, they're going over what you need in order to graduate, and I wasn't even thinking about graduating. I was like, my mind was like, from ninth to 10th grade, I wasn't even thinking about graduating. Uh, it was like more about like trying to smoke some weed or something. And for some reason, all the kids were like doing calculations or estimates of like what they need to do in order to, secure a diploma. And that's like all of a sudden it just hit me. I'm like I was like, what am I doing? Like again, like what am I doing? Like, and it seemed like something so impossible. Like getting a diploma, like was like I never thought I was gonna graduate since I was like in probably like fifth or sixth grade. I knew for some reason I just knew I wasn't gonna graduate. It was just like I'm just not gonna get my diploma. It just is what it is. Some people get their diploma, some people don't. And I just never thought I was gonna be able to. And for some reason, when those students, I don't know what they were doing on campus, but they went into my classroom and they just started explaining like, this is what you need to get. And then all the kids were like doing calculations and estimates, like I said. And I was just like, I just like kind of like woke up. I was like, what am I doing? Like, well, what is that I do need to graduate or get a diploma? Because like none of my family ever that I know. I'm pretty sure I got lots of family members that graduated in Mexico and here, but I don't know them because I didn't grow up with what's it called? I didn't grow up with my grandparents. I only grew up with my brother, my mom, my dad, and one uncle. That's it. Most of my whole life, I didn't know my grandparents until like way later on, and my cousins until I was like a teenager, So, or they would just come by like once in a while. I didn't really have a relationship with them, so it was just always just the four of us. So, since I was like none of my family, man, it was just I never thought I could do it. It was like out of my reach. So I just never really tried, and my parents, they don't really know. They come from Mexico. They didn't go to school either, so they didn't really know how like to check up on homework. It was just new for them, so they just didn't know. Or whatever, or they were too busy. I'm not quite sure, but like, so once those students came into my classroom, I just started like waking up, like, what if I can graduate? What if I can be the first, from my intermediate family, to graduate, So I just started thinking, what if? Is it possible? Like, how far am I? Like, I messed around a lot. Like, what is it that I need to do? So I went to after that classroom, I want to go to the office, and I want to go speak to this guy. He was like a Hawaiian guy, like, and with sunglasses again, bro. Like, I don't know, they might be like, puffing, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? And he's like, if you want to stay in this regular high school and graduate with all the regular students, sorry about that, you're gonna have to get like straight A's and B's. Can you do that? And I was like, no. And I was like, well, then you're gonna have to go to Conley. That's like, but I don't know if they changed the name or whatever, but it's like another school, like 7 minutes away, like on the other side of the street or whatever. You're gonna have to. It's like a continuation school, adult school. I don't know what it was. I never, I didn't know what it was. But you're gonna have to go there if you want to like catch up. And I was like, I didn't want to transfer to that school because I had a crush on this one girl at that time, and I was really crushing on her, and I didn't want to, even though like I never told her. Or I just never told her, but I didn't want to leave because I had a huge crush on this girl, but I never even told her anything, but like, but that's why I didn't want to leave. But if it wasn't because of that, I would have just easily left, get my credits and just try to catch up. But I had this crush, right? But I said, you know what, I'm like, I'm gonna have to transfer, like, forget that girl, like I need to graduate. Like, and I didn't even have the balls to go up and tell her how I felt and figure out if she liked me or not, or was willing, So I was like, I was like, I wasn't gonna like go up to her. I didn't have the balls to go up to her. I was like, whatever. And I'm just gonna transfer it. Like, this is more important than just a temporary crush. So I said, yeah, I'm a, what's it called? I'm a transfer, but I forgot what happened. I ended up moving back with my dad, and I went to go to enroll in this high school, this regular high school, just like the one, and they're looking at my credits and what I've been doing, and they're like, and I talked to the principal or the counselor, and they're like, they asked me the same thing, like, if do you want to stay here? I was like, yeah, because there's like more girls here, if you go to a continuation, it's like a small amount of girls, and I was thinking like dumb stuff, like, things that didn't matter, and I wanted to stay in that regular high school, so just to go to a regular school, but because I've been to continuation schools in middle school, and I didn't want to be in continuation schools anymore, so that's why I didn't want. And what's it called? So I said, fine, I'll go to the continuation school down the street, which was like almost like regular school, and it was just the hood, like the hood, that high school had like girls that were pregnant, girls that were already moms, people smoking cigarettes and weed in the at like break and lunch, fights, just across the street there's like gang hoods out there, and it's just like, it was like just down the street, it's like not even that far, but it's just like the difference, and I said, fine, I'll go to that school. So thankfully to that school, that continuation school, I was able to catch up. I put in a lot of work. After that school, later on, like I'll go to night school in downtown. So when I was done with regular school, continuation school, I'd just cross the street, hop on the bus, and go to downtown and be done till like late at night, and come back and have my older brother pick me up to go back home. So I had to do all that just to graduate, because I messed around for 2 years. And eventually, I was able to catch up, go to night school and get my credits. But a little bit before that, when I was still living with my mom's, going to James Logan, at that time I had like a little job, like selling newspapers, and I go to like I'd go all around, not all around, but mostly in San Jose, and other parts of the Bay Area, but mostly San Jose. I'd go out like after school. What's it called? This was before I moved with my dad again. So I'm with my mom, and I wanted to make some extra money. And I seen a flyer where they're like, "Hey, we're getting students to get a little job." So I was like, I want to start making a little bit of money, to buy like clothes or whatever. So I called the guy. The guy came to my house. My mom wasn't there at the time. I think she was working. So I had the lady that was renting next door sign for me, like a waiver or like she said, yeah, my son can work, whatever. And I had the lady sign it for me because my mom wasn't there. And I started working. But once I started working, I didn't have no time to do my homework. And I was just getting more behind on work, on my homework. I was trying to finish up this math class because I was like, I was just falling way behind. But I was making a little bit of money, and I was like, should I do my homework or should I continue to get this little bit of money that I'm earning? I was selling like newspaper, like the San Francisco Chronicle, but mostly the San Jose Mercury News to people, and I'll go to neighborhoods, and it was like a con artist thing at the end, it was like a script you would try to make up to sell this new newspaper to people, like a subscription or whatever, and they sign up for it, and it was just like a kind of like a scam artist thing. And at the end I got pretty good at it, like, and I used to sell the most expensive bundle or whatever, and everyone was like, dang, like, because there's like the low subscription, middle, and the hard one, but the hard one is harder but I was somehow I was able to like get people to always get that, and you get paid most off of that subscription. I was mostly just selling that one. I just focused on the big money. So, but there was other kids that were way better than me. These guys were making a lot of money, and every time we get picked up, I was the only one from my city. Like everyone was from San Jose, and I was like a few people from the East Bay. They'll come pick us up, and what's it called? And then they will stop like at a gas station, and all the kids will get off, and they just buy Red Bull, Slim Jims, ice creams, Mountain Dew, Rockstar, just Monster energy drinks, whatever candy, whatever chips, whatever they wanted, they'll get because they had money on them. And like I was barely starting out. The guy, it was two brothers, two Mexican dudes with two white vans. I don't know how I don't know what that was all about. Like, I even questioned myself, like, well, was that even legal? Or, I don't know, but it was two brothers. And they will pick us up, all the kids up. It was weird, bro. It was like, I don't know. But they'll pick us up, and, and the guy saw me. One of the brothers was in charge of, us, the East Bay kids. And then the other brother was in charge of most of the San Jose kids. So they'll come pick me up, and all the kids will get off, and they'll buy all their stuff before starting work, right? And then I was like, it was like my first day. I was just sitting there, and he's like, you want me to let you borrow some money so you can buy some food? But I never felt comfortable borrowing money from a dude or whatever. So I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not that hungry. So then when I started selling, I had a little bit on me. So then in a couple weeks or a few days, when I would make my first sales, I'll stop at the liquor store, and then I'll start buying like my energy drinks, my candies, my chips, because I had a little bit of money on me. And yeah, so that went on for a while, and I was getting like way behind on my homework in 10th grade. This was like in 10th grade in 2012. And then I remember one day I was like, I need to make a choice. Like, the money's good here. It's decent for a 14, 15-year-old. But I don't know. Like, I need to finish school. Because I was already having, like, after those kids went to go talk about what you need for your credits and your diplomas, I started thinking. So I was like, and I asked the guy, I was like, hey, did you get to go to college? And he was like, yeah, I want to go to college. And I did this and that. I was like, you know what? I would like to also one day go to college. So after I had a conversation with them, I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to just focus on school so I could graduate, be the first one to get a high school. Even though it don't mean shit now. The high school diploma literally doesn't mean shit. But, it's something from a long line of people not getting a diploma. Even college diplomas, a lot of college diplomas don't mean shit now. In 2025, you gotta be like you gotta be in the trades, or you gotta like today, like a doctor. Like today, I want to try to get my haircut, but I didn't have enough time. I had to go to work. I thought I had more time, but I didn't get my haircut. So I go up in there. There's an Indian mom and an Indian teenager, right? Not like a teenager, but he was probably like 18, 19, 20. I'm not sure. But it looked like his mom was like very like overprotective of him, and just was always like, she even almost wanted to the barber was like, how do you want your haircut? And the mom was like she was like, oh, like if he was still like a little kid, oh, he wants this, he wants that. The kid was making his own decisions, like, but the mom was also putting like her 2 cents in on like how it should be too. And for one part that's cool, but another part you could tell like the mom was always like very invested in her children. And the kid just finished graduating from Ohio State University, the Ohio State. And now he was going to like another medical school in July or something. I was just overhearing, and I was like, dang, wow, like that would have been cool, like like someone to be a doctor or something like that. But I was like, dang, but a lot of college degrees don't really mean jack shit now. But yeah, that's wrapping it up. Sorry, I got sidetracked. But you know, I went to adult school after the continuation school. I was able to graduate. I got my bought my whatever the thing the uniform suit whatever for your diploma. Graduated, went to college, but just things didn't really work out too much like how I wanted. But that's how I was able to graduate. High school, even though now it don't pretty much mean anything. But yep, that's about it.